closely. I know lately you're a bit lonely, but you know on your phone there's a whole world full of girls you could be looking at, homie. It's true, between me and you, it's only $5 and watch what they do. Let's get high, lose track of time. Come on, man, you know I'm a damn good time. Yo, if they're gonna post it, no clothing, oh my god, so exposed and everything. You might as well see everything, every inch, never leave, a growing need. Wait, maybe you should DM, be friends, pretend, a boyfriend, the deep end. She needs men, she needs you and your twos. Get out of my head, get out of my mind. I need to focus, I'm wasting my time. You make me feel hopeless, I'm wasting my prime. Fuck it, I'm going to war with my mind. I'm in control, my body and soul. Never again will you ever take hold. I've got a purpose outside of this hole, and I'll turn this feeling into something more. I could change, rearrange my brain. Thoughts and energy push through pain. Loneliness is a passing phase. A better life, it starts today. Once hopeless and broken, I'm in motion. Just gotta stay focused. Keep moving, keep growing. Never look back, got a new path chosen.
When we are weak, when we are broken, that's when we're left open. In darkness, it's all of our flaws that keep us hopeless. Numb our minds and choke us. I'm in control. A fight taking us. A climb out this hole. A fight in my soul. We fight control.
Hey man, where'd you go? We used to have fun, hang out and smoke. Watch a little you know what a show. Drink a little bit of this, little that to cope. Yeah, wait, we used to have fun, right? Sleep in short days, but the long nights. You always love to go play, what a fun guy. But now you seem so lame, what a shame, right? Hey, come back, let's get high. We can have another run at the good times. We can have a little fun, just recline, me time. Hit over the wheel, you'll be just fine. Yeah, you know I'm always here for you. Life gets hard, there's a lot of fear for you. You know I can make it all disappear for you. Only one time, you'll be fine, man, I'll cheer for you. No, I don't wanna get back to a place that I really don't like, so I really gotta go. All the thoughts in the back of my mind, they be bigger at night when the dark takes hold. Gotta make my way to the light, feeling better inside every time I say no. I'm in motion, yeah, I've chosen different path, but we rapidly have control. I'm back, baby, better than ever, no drag. Taking back everything I lacked lately. Feel like me, I'm back, crazy. I took all that pain, put that energy to change. I will never be the same, I will never be a stain.
When we are weak, when we are broken, that's when we're left open. In darkness, it's all of our flaws that keep us hopeless. Numb our minds and choke us.
Well, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? Oh, wrong way. All right, I don't want the audio too loud tonight. We don't want the music too loud, right? We don't want to muffle out the people that are being joining the stream tonight, do we? Mic check 1 2. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's see who's all in here right now. Who do we got? Stoney, what's going on, Stoney? How you doing, baby? Sus, what's up, Sus? USMC Boat Jumper, Monty, Sophie, what's up? G, what's up, baby? Uncle Beaver Diver, Sophie, Chewy, Monty, Billy Bob. Sorry if I missed anyone. Any of you members? OG Sniper, what's going on, baby? Time Taker, what's up, bro? Glad to see you're out. Damn, what's going on, Sam? How you doing, buddy? Creep, what's up, Creep? What's going on? Pinky, what's up, Pinky? Long time no talk. Hope you're doing good. Receding Dan. Does that mean receding hairline? What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Icebar. What's going on, Icebar? How you doing? Cornelius Low. Now that is like an epic name. Blue-eyed Slim. What's going on? Linus. What's going on, Linus? Howdy, girl. How you doing? Howdy, partner. Marcus. What's going on, Marcus? So yeah, just so you guys are aware, welcome to the stream. Tonight we are bringing in Red Evony, aka Akka, my man Akka. Also on top of that, we're bringing in Theria Games, aka Chaz. And on top of that, we're bringing in Asta. The one, the only, the Asta. You guys know Asta's my right-hand man. We're bringing him in for tonight's talks. I like his point of views on this. He's very honest. He's very open. And he's going to tell you guys exactly how it is. And I think Akka's point of view is going to be good as well. And Chaz's also. You know, I think we're getting all points of the spectrum tonight for people's opinions. You know, let's talk about before K50, were we expecting it, what's going on with it, all the updates, and all that fun stuff. Let's get this call going and see what these guys are up to, see if they're ready to talk. What do you guys say? You guys think that's a good idea? What's up, Zaylee? How you doing? Who did I miss? Sorry if I missed anybody. Marcus, what's up, Marcus? Party no one, what's going on? Let's party, baby. Let's party. Let's get it. One thing I wanted to turn off this for tonight, and I wanted to turn off this for tonight. So let's call the group, see what's going on. What's up, Nothing Is? How you doing? Let's get it. 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 Let's see who picks up first. Let's see who picks up first. I know Chaz was busy shaving and making coffee. Right, Ebony, I know, was just walking in the door, so he might have to, you know, just get ready real quick. What's up, gentlemen? How you guys doing? We got Asta, we got Chaz.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, my man. You all done shaving and making that coffee?
I done the coffee part, not so much the shaving part.
Oh man, I thought Asta told you that we needed your camera tonight, no?
Oh, I don't know about that. The beard's looking a little bit scruffy.
I gotta see it now. Now I want to see it, dude. This is gonna bother me.
Yeah, it's maybe one for after the stream, eh?
All right. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not too sure. Just so people know, that was Chaz. Chaz, would you mind doing a little intro on who and what you are?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Mr. Yours, for having me. So it's Chaz here. I am the man behind theoryofgames.com, popular Evony gaming guide website. You know, we have a bunch of guides, calculators, and tools. Hopefully, you'll have seen some of them, maybe even used some of them before. So yeah, thanks very much for having me along.
It's our pleasure, my man. It's our pleasure. And I know we also got the Tyrant in here as well. Asta, you here?
Yeah. What's up?
Same old, my man. That's Asta from 529. All part of evil. Mastermind behind it. So,
Yes, sir.
what brings us fine gentlemen together today? A bunch of like-minded people, I'm sure, who have different opinions on K50. That's for sure.
I'm sure about that too.
Personally, I like K50. I don't know why, but I am super pumped about this K50 update. What's going on?
I
Here
don't
comes a
know,
boom.
mixed reactions on the Keep 50 update, right? But I suppose we'll get into all of that. I've got some thoughts on it. I don't know, how long have you guys been around for? What was your first Keep update? I'm just quite curious to see when everybody started playing in this call.
I started when I believe K40 was a thing. My first server was 1002.
Oh, okay, you're quite new then. I mean, not totally new, but you're a more recent player anyway, for sure.
Yes.
That'll be interesting to see the different perspectives. Asta, what about you? When did you first start playing? What was the highest keep level?
I think I started playing when well, to be honest, when I first started playing, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think it was like max was 30, but while I was on the server, it went to 35, and I had no idea what it could go to. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really, I wasn't big into this game when I first started. I just kind of played it very casually. Like my bubble would, I wouldn't put bubbles. I wouldn't put my bubble on for like months, dude. When I first started.
I feel that so much. I remember my first SVS. I was like a little Keep 25 or something, and I didn't want to use the gems to pour over onto the enemy server all the time and pour back in bubble. So what I would do is I would send my march out to the other side of the map. Bear in mind, this is on the enemy server, and then I would go to sleep. that shows you A, how noob I was, and B, how slow my march speed was.
I didn't even. I think when my first SVS came around, I think I went over to the other server, sat there, and I like looked around, and I just sat there, and then I ported back home. I didn't do anything.
No.
So, because I didn't know how the system worked or anything. I saw the red bubble, and I was like, okay, I'm still bubbled, kind of thing. But like, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I think, and at the time, I think I was like K20 with like 1 million power or something. So
That's low.
it was, well, at the time there was like no no tech really and stuff like that, you know.
Right.
And even like research stones, they were harder to get because I think the main way that you used to get them was from hydras, because I think Vikings were around, but well, at the time my team didn't do Vikings, so I mean we were barely able to kill a level 2 hydra at the time, I think. So it was yeah, we were struggling to kill like B10s.
Didn't you start before? I mean, you started at age 1 Evony though, didn't you?
Well, yeah, it's a lot different though.
Yeah.
On computer, yeah. Because before it was like, I mean, you could build as many troops as you wanted as long as you had the resources and stuff. They didn't have like generals. They had generals, but they had like just all generals were the same. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stats were the same. So like there wasn't like special generals that gave you certain buffs or anything. It was all just straight stat buff, you know?
Yeah, I remember. So I was an Age 2 player, and I remember that your subcities, you could actually build them up like you would your main keep.
Yeah.
So I didn't play Age 1, but Age 2 at least was very, very different from the from what we have nowadays.
Yeah, even Age 2 is a lot different from what Age 1 was. Age 2 they started implementing those the historic generals, and those had like increased stats, you know what I'm saying? So like you could get like the queen, which had like higher stats than normal generals, and you could get like historic ones like Washington and stuff like that, but there was only one on the whole server. So if you didn't get it early on, you were kind of fucked, because it's very hard to steal those from people, because I think you have to you have to destroy the person's keep or their city, and then you have to like wait a certain amount of time and they'll lose loyalty, and then you can capture them. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different, or it was a lot different. So yeah.
Did they implement anything? I mean, was there any? I mean, I know. Sorry, Asta, you were Age 1. You know, Chaz, you were Age 2. Is there any comparison from Age 1 and 2 into the mobile Evony itself?
Yeah. There's a lot of comparisons. The map layout or the city layout's the same, where they have like the keep and they had certain places that you built certain buildings, like the barracks and stuff could only be in certain spots before, at least in Age 1. But I think in Age 2 they changed that, so they have that in the mobile version now too. But dragons and all that stuff is new. Academy was a thing, except you only used gold. That's the only thing you needed was gold. Back in Age 1, and I think Age 2 was just gold too. I can't remember.
No kidding.
But yeah.
Oh, I think Aka's just joined us. Welcome, Aka. How's it going?
Oh, we got Red.
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How's everyone?
Good.
Good.
Just
I'm sure.
All right, great stuff.
I think everyone
Are we
knows.
live now?
Yes, we are, man.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Aka here.
How was your day, buddy?
Hectic,
Oh man.
but yeah, but you know, we survive.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us after a hectic day. I appreciate that.
No problem. Hope you guys are doing good. I see Chaz. Hey, Chaz, haven't seen you in a while, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while, my friend. Yeah, I'm doing good. Bit of a hectic day for me as well, but glad to jump on here and catch up and talk through K50. I think a lot of people have been quite there's been a lot of split opinions about this update, so it's going to be good to talk it through with some people who are, you know, we're let's be honest, we're nerds at this game, so it'll be fun to see people's different opinions on this.
Yes.
All right, great stuff. Asta there as well. How you doing, Asta?
I'm doing all right. Busy day.
All right, great
Usual.
stuff.
Sounds like
Yeah,
we're all
and
adulting.
yeah, and yours, you know.
I'm always good, man. I'm always
so-
good. You know that.
Yeah.
Oh man, so this is very just so people are aware. We have I guess I'll say we came up with the idea to come together and talk about this with everyone that's on stream right now. There has been no planning outside of just getting together and talking about this. There's no scripts. There's no questions that are pre-planned. So whatever answers from myself, Asta, Aka, or even Chaz, it's all authentic and it's real. And hopefully we can. I'm hoping that we can not stump each other in a sense with questions. Really make each
Wait,
other
so
think.
we're not going off the script that you sent?
No, not right now.
Oh,
The
okay.
pressure's mounting. Come on. I thought, what happened to the script? You're making me
Oh.
nervous.
Oh
We're just
man,
winging it, huh?
go back to page 2, okay?
All right. Sorry. Oh, it says right there, don't mention the script. Okay, sorry.
Oh man, Asti, you're always spoiling it, man. No, really, because I don't know. To me, I just like to be authentic. I want to hear you guys' reactions. I want to see chat's reaction to this, which is going to be good. What to start with as far as I mean, I guess the only downfall is I don't know what questions to really ask each other, right? I guess to start out, were any of you guys expecting K50 really? When they dropped it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I was.
That's a split already.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was literally asleep, and then I woke up, and you know how you wake up and it's like your eyes are still half shut, and I grabbed my phone and I looked and I saw 50 messages from Discord, and I was like, oh shit. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong. And then I opened it, and the first thing I see somebody's like, oh shit, K50, and I was like, oh shit.
I feel that. I always feel like when you wake up to loads of Discord messages, you're like, oh my god, how drunk was I last night? What did I post? It's just K50.
It's like, what the hell did I do?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So yeah, for me, K50 was unexpected now. I was actually expecting it, when the version switched, when we entered the 5.5.0, I was expecting it then, and it didn't come. So I was like, oh, okay. And, we had a few updates after that, and I was like, oh, all right, maybe it's not coming this year. And, it kind of just slipped my mind. I was like, we're going on, and I was like, okay, do the normal things, push for K42, got Monarch 45, and, and just making steady progress. And then it comes. And it was just, for me, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
It definitely threw a curveball, man, for me, because I think it was actually the day prior to K50 dropping, we had a stream, we had a member from AGS, Jamini hosted a stream, about the server merges, and we talked in there, we're talking about, we thought, they'd have Allstars, and then server merges, and then possibly the K50 drop, but it's they did the server merges, then Allstars, then a K50 drop. It was all just, it felt random, it felt rushed, it felt random, and then just out of their normal updating process. Do you guys think it was kind of a rushed update, just kind of off a whim, just throwing it out there just because?
No, I think this was very predictable. I mean, the thing that threw me off is that they dropped it on a Wednesday. I thought it would be on the Friday, but it's actually 6 months roughly out of schedule. So I had expected it to be not the All-Stars just gone, but the All-Stars previously. So they always drop it about a year and a half, and it's after the All-Stars that falls around then. So I expected that after last All-Stars. And then, to be fair, like Aka, I thought, okay, with the version 5, it would drop then, didn't drop then. So I thought after this All-Stars, it must be dropping 100%. And it threw me off slightly because it was on a random day. I thought it would have been on a Friday, where they usually do their updates and stuff like that. So that part threw me, but I did think, because, I've been through, I think I might have been here for Keep 35, I'm not sure. I've been here for 40, 45, and now 50. And it always follows a kind of pattern. So it's usually about a year and a half. This one, they done it for 2 years. and it always follows right after the All-Stars on that kind of timeline.
What are your thoughts on that, Asta?
I kind of figured that was gonna, come out sooner or later. They've been increasing everything. That's usually what they do right before they smack us. They like to entice. But no, I mean, yeah, the same thing as they said. Like, I was expecting it to come out with the 5.0 update. I was surprised that they didn't, to be honest. So, but I knew that I think it was because they needed more time to increase everything else, like they increased the well, like basically everything that like you can spend money to, to gain a benefit. They increased all those rewards basically before they released this. So that kind of made sense to me. I guess they just wanted to get that stuff out of the way before they dropped it. Yeah,
that's something I definitely agree with. Is you always see when a new keep drops, there's always a wave of people who act as if it's the apocalypse, it's the end of Evony, everybody's quitting and stuff like that. But honestly, it's not that bad. And now, before everybody starts gunning for me in the comments, let me explain. So
I'm gunning for you.
Oh my goodness, friendly fire in the Discord call. So let me explain that. So as Asta mentioned, there's an increase in rewards just before the new keep level drops. That always happens. And after the keep level drops, there's new bosses. We've seen that. We've got B22, 23, whatever it is. All gets muddled up in my head now. And we saw the next level of witches and golems and things like that. I'm just laughing at chat saying starts gunning for chats. Thanks for that. But basically what we're going to see is it's going to be a lot easier for you to progress. So I remember when I first started getting Keep 27, which is what I think I ended on that server before I bought a Keep 35 account. That took like months and months and months. Maybe it took me 6 months to a year to get to Keep 27. Nowadays, if you're free to play, you can get to Keep 27 in maybe 4 days. If you're coining, you can get to Keep 27 on day one very easily. And so if you look at that and realize that just like in real life, you have inflation in the economy, right? You have resource inflation in Evony. And so you're going to see that as well. And I think there are going to be more ways to make it easier for people to get up those keep levels. Now, obviously, everybody's not going to be hitting Keep 45 next week. That's not going to happen. But there is going to be a shift, and Keep 40 is going to be the new Keep 35, and Keep 43 is going to be the new, or Keep 45 is going to be the new Keep 43 or whatever. Like, there will be a good shift with rewards, and with that, it will allow people to push up easier. Now, obviously, with the first Keep 50s that we're going to see soon, obviously there's a lot of people on Keep 48 right now. I don't know if there's any Keep 49s. Going to 49 to 50 is actually quite easy. I don't know if you guys have looked at the requirements, but I've got them all. So that's not going to be t's bad, but 48's the real one. Once we have those Keep 50s, right, they're going to be wrecking everybody in All-Stars for the next All-Star, probably the next 2 All-Stars, but then we'll see a catch-up kind of happen. So I wouldn't worry too much, to be honest. Yeah, like Asta is saying, there's going to be this rise of rewards from everything that you see in the game, and I expect that to continue to increase over the next few months as well. So don't panic, everybody.
I'm gonna let Aka speak before I speak, or counteract what he just said.
Okay. Well, I mean, funny thing is that I remember at the start of the year, I did like a video on like my Evony wish list for the year. And I remember in that video, I said, I hope they don't drop K50 this year. Or at the very least, they release it towards the end of the year, which is kind of like what they did. So, in that sense, okay, I guess best case scenario in, a bad situation kind of thing. Do I think K50 is going to kill the game? No, I don't. I think the same way with Chaz on this. I've been here since 35. I've lived through 40. I lived through 45. And there's a pattern. Okay. People are obviously pissed off with the updates. It doesn't give anyone, hasn't given people enough chance to catch up and, things like that. And people, right at the point where they feel like, okay, yes, I'm making improvements. Okay, yes, I'm actually doing something in the game. The next level comes out, and it's like, it's like a big middle finger to your face. But, people carry on. People carry on, and surprisingly, people coin. Okay. One of the things that I thought, especially when 45 dropped, I thought like, okay, people were going to be like, yeah, okay, I coined my ass off to get to 40, and now 45 has come out and I'm not coining again. Yeah, they still coin. Okay. It's one of the realities of Evony. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to see, the big guys, they're gonna go ham on this thing, try and push as fast as they can. We'll see 48s, 49s. Most likely by the next All-Stars, we'll see at least like 1 or 2 K50s. And the cycle continues. The one thing I'm not really so sure of is the resource inflation. Because I don't see how Evony does that practically. What I would like is for them to just, all the boss monsters, just double everything.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't need to do anything special. They don't need to give us any, special event monsters that give you quadruple resources or any kind of shit like that. No, everything that we have now, just literally double it, and that takes care of a lot of the problems. But I don't think they're gonna do that. And the reason why I feel like that is because you've seen the new boss monsters that they've brought out, the level 7s, the B22, B23. I'm sorry to say, but the resources in those things, the rewards in those things are crap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're actually crap. For how difficult it is to kill those things, it's crap. All right, you don't get a significant boost in resources. We were doing Yimmers the other day. Yimmer 5 and Yimmer 5, 6, and 7 give the same number of tactic scrolls. How does that make sense?
Right.
So, I'm hopeful that, they will find a way to give us more resources outside of packs. But as it is right now, I don't see how they do that practically. So, that's where I'm standing on the thing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to point out is, I don't know if you want to say something yours too before I go on a little, tirade.
Well, no, something short, just regards to, K50 killing the game. Do I think I'm on board with Chaz and also Akka? I don't think K50 is going to kill the game. I don't think it's going to kill the game at all, honestly. As far as my opinion goes, it gave me more to do currently. And what I mean by that is, I'm kind of at a stalemate where I'm stuck grinding Evony for speed ups at the moment. Speed ups and resources to try and make that push to K45. And I know it's an equal opportunity for everyone for these new updates, but it gave me an opportunity, to focus on my academy again. That gave me something I can work on outside of just the K45 push. Working on the new gear itself. That gave me something to do outside of pushing for K45, and like the new whole, the scrolls. That gave me something new to work on outside of K45. So as far as my standpoint to the game, it's more entertaining, and it gives me some. I have more to look forward to when I log on now than just, how many tax scrolls did I make this week? I can do 2 things in research this week, and I can do half of my, rally hall, speed ups, so it gave me more enjoyment and more, it really did. It makes me spend more time in the game. And I think that kind of filters to a lot of players too, at the same spending level as me. So I look forward to it personally.
Yeah, no, I agree somewhat. You guys just tell me if you guys want me to stop, by the way.
All right, we got you.
So,
Go on, man.
I have the same agreements as you guys. I don't think that the game will die, right? The game will never die because there's always going to be someone, right, that's pushing.
Mhm.
Whether it's the most competitive teams, whether it's, one dude on one server with no one else just wanting to play the game, by himself. So the game won't die. I think that I fully agree with what Akka said with the bosses. They're absolute dog ass. It's been dog ass since K40. When
Yes.
K40 came out, the rewards from the bosses that were out when only 35 was out, and then the difference from, which I think is Y4 to Y5, if someone correct me if I'm wrong. But when they released Y5, it was a good increase of resources, of everything. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But the new bosses that they released with, since then, there's like, I think the difference between
What's up,
a
Derek? What's up,
Y5
everybody
and a
that's
Y6
joined?
box is
Welcome to the show. Sorry, I'm not.
100K,
I'm just letting
of
them talk
each
right now.
resource, or maybe 200K. And I think you get the same, like you said, it's the same tax scrolls. I think it's almost the same speed ups, maybe one extra 3 hour. It doesn't make any sense for the justification of power difference that is needed. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. And it's the same way with every other boss, like C5s. I think you get like one extra, speed up of 8 hour or whatever, for the Serb 5s versus Serb 4s. And the power difference is almost double. You know what I'm saying? Versus what you needed. Which, if you have a coiner on your team, or someone that's heavy coining, it's not that big of a deal. But for the smaller people that need to try and catch up to these people, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's unreasonable.
Just a quick one, after. Just a quick one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the stamina on those things higher?
I can't remember if Y5, and Y6. I think Y5 and Y6 is the same.
Yes, but I think the 7. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the stamina on the new bosses is higher. No.
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think that they're 50 or 55, something like that, for the new ones.
I think it's higher, and because of that, it makes it
What's up,
even
Magnum?
more
How you doing,
pointless.
baby?
Because you're spending more stamina for practically the same drop. I guess the only reason is the new those new boxes, the surprise hunter surprise boxes that they added to those, and the compendium thingies. I think that's like the only real reason to kill those bosses. But if you're talking about like stamina, if you're talking about like speed ups, resources, tactic scrolls, there's really no point killing the new bosses, my opinion.
Yeah. Fully agree. And there's a few things that Evony can do to fix this. And I've already I said this when I already said it when K45 came out. They need to either increase the rewards every time that they increase the keep level. They should be increasing the rewards of like the next boss, you know what I'm saying, the next level of boss, by like 25%. They don't have to increase the old ones, because the old ones are already normalized by that time. You know what I'm saying? But like since Y5s, which you can see for like Y4s to Y5s, they increased it by like almost 25%, if not more, if I'm correct. But they need to do that same thing for the, every other boss after that, because they stopped doing that and they basically just added they added like less than 10%, maybe like, I don't know how much the 100K is, but it's insignificant versus how much more it costs to get these to these certain levels. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with Chaz that it's going to be easier for more people to get 45, but I think it's going to be more normal because it's just a catch-up game at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's not because the bosses are giving more rewards. It's because they're catching up with how, like, what they already had, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone, hate to say this, everyone uses alts. Everyone knows it. All right.
Yeah.
All top teams use it. All, even little teams use alts. There's no stopping it. Especially with, family member program now and stuff like that. So, like,
Yeah,
it's just people catching up
game.
to that. It's people catching up to that point where they're at. You know what I'm saying? So everyone will reach 45. Would they have reached it any faster if they didn't come out with K50? I don't think so. I think it would have been the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the bosses have not increased any sort of output. They've increased it very minimal. And if anything, the only thing that they did that did make it more faster is they increased the spawn of those said monsters. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's going to be more monsters that have more resources versus if there wasn't like 7s on the map or 6s on the map, whatever, there's only a certain amount of 5s or 4s on the map. But now those 7s that would have possibly been level 1s before are now 7s. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only increase I see in resources, and how it would be faster. But I don't think it would have changed that much. I do agree that Academy was good. I think that they should have released Academy without fucking 50. They could have did that too.
That would have been nice.
My opinion.
That would have been nice.
Just my opinion.
Yeah,
they should be doing that every single time. They shouldn't be doing these keep upgrades and then releasing the 5 previous levels of Academy.
Right.
Is that just like, I don't understand why they hold off on that until, I guess it's something for the, the normal players that don't have, the money to do just to keep up. But I don't know. Anyways, I do agree that there is some good out of this update. I just think that, I think overall right now, like, the main thing that Evony needs to do is just increase output for free-to-play players, because there's no chance that free-to-play players are going to get K50. There's no chance. And
Right.
Well, I've got some potentially. I've got a few different points. If I can just jump in there.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So obviously everybody uses alts. That's a fact. If you're not using alts, then you're probably not a serious Evony player. It might be criminal for me to say that, but let's be honest. As we say, every top team's doing it. Every top player's doing it. They even created a family system to promote it. So we're using alts. Now, if you run the numbers on the citizens, they actually give you a decent amount of resources if you're going to spend the time to make sure that you're maxing them out and things like that. I didn't run the full numbers on them, but we're talking you're going to get like an extra. We're talking extra billions of resources each week from them per account, like 1 or 2 billion, which is obviously not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things. But if you're playing with 4 alts or however many you've got, if you expand your alts past the family member system, then it can add up. But I think we will see an increase in rewards from events. Everybody had this panic at previous keep updates, and it never seemed to be enough. But it's always, in my opinion, it's always been enough. And now this is going to be a controversial point. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. But why do we care if you can't hit keep 50? And now, before everybody starts executing me for saying that, let me explain that one, because that one is going to definitely give you some get some comments.
I think-
Let me get my pitchfork.
I know. Chaz is just asking for it tonight, I think, guys.
Oh, absolutely. But the reason I say is, why do we care? Now, let me give you some backstory. So obviously, I am in a team called TGT, Theory Games team. I started out on server 1404 over 2 years ago. I'm no longer the R5 anymore, so it is. We merged with server 1401, and we are, we're challenge contenders. And C6 we done really, really well, and C5 we've done pretty well as well, considering we just moved up.
Yeah, you guys are.
We're doing pretty good. Yours, you caught one of our reports. I saw you showing on stream before.
Thanks for that.
So we've got a top team. I'd say we've got a top team, considering our age and things like that. Like obviously, we're not a C2 team or anything like that, which has been around for a lot longer. But we've got a top team, and we recently had 2 keeps, keep 45, which is really exciting for us. Onyx and a guy, and now obviously the keep 50 is going to be very detrimental to our team, right? Because all of a sudden we had 2 top dogs, if you like, and now it kind of feels like that progress has been unwounded. Now, what I do want to say is that if you're a competitive player, then you're going to be in a competitive team, right? And often those teams don't come naturally. It's very rare for you to start a server and your alliance that you start with becomes a top team. If you just do the numbers on it, how many top teams are there in each continent? Let's say there's 16 in each continent for challenge, right? So that means there is thousands of other teams, or at least hundreds of other teams that aren't a top team. And that's just a fact of numbers, right? So what I would perhaps say is that if you are very serious about this game, and you are going to be coining and you do want to play with a top team, then the easiest way to do that is to go and buy a keep with a top team. Now, if you don't spend a lot of money and things like that, then obviously that will impact your role and your ability to do that. But if you are spending money, then that's not really a problem. Now, what I would say is, if you aren't a top player, or you're not spending the money to back it up and things like that, and Keep 50s came out and you're like, oh, this is the end of Evony, well, then I would, again, playing devil's advocate, this isn't truly 100% my opinion, but I think I definitely have an element of it, would be, sure, you're not going to be smashing out every SVS if you don't have Keep 50s and stuff like that once that becomes the norm. But you're still going to have an SVS every second weekend, and the SVS ranking depends on how you win and how you lose and things like that. So you're going to be playing people with somewhat equal ability to yourself. So is that not still fun? If you go to challenge, sure, you might not make majors, but is it not still quite fun to play in elite? Mm-hmm. And that's my kind of perspective on it with Allstars as well. It's like, at the end of the day, this is a game. And the most realistic way to become a top team is not to be homegrown. I think that's obviously quite rare. It's just a numbers game, right? The easiest way is to go, you get a band of people that you like, or you go join a team. You see teams like VEG and RSP, for example. They're always got keeps for sale. They've always got new people coming in, coming out. That's just the way it is.
Can we get some W's in chat for Chaz for what he's saying right now, guys? Agree with him. Give him some W's in chat. Come on.
You have to be realistic of, okay, how much can I spend on this to have time to run alts? How much money can I spend on this? And if the answer isn't,
W Chaz, baby, W Chaz.
Money, then, can you just have fun playing on those smaller teams, playing on those smaller servers? And I believe, yes, you can. Like 100%. Like, I've played on many servers, and I've just got really, really lucky with the people that I'm on in 1404. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is any less just because you're not in majors, just because you're not a top team. It's all, at the end of the day, we play this game for fun. We play this game to escape the real world. And I will certainly have fun whether we are C5 champions or whether we are gunning for a shot in juniors. Because it's all about finding your band of people, and it doesn't matter what keep update. I mean, they could drop keep 60 next week, and obviously everybody would be pissed off with that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you have your people, you have your team, and there's always going to be a level for you to compete at. It just might not be at majors, and that's okay. As long as at the end of the day, you just ask, are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? If the answer to that is yes, keep playing, play juniors, play majors, play whatever you can get in. Obviously, a part of that is going to be your coining level. I know there will be some people who have grinded free to play and they're feeling really hard done by this update, and that's understandable. But I also slightly have the opinion of, if you've been here from pre-Keep 45, like you've been here for a previous Keep update already, then you know what to expect. You know that these types of games, they're going to increase the Keep level. that's just the way of these games. No, my heart goes out to people who joined post Keep 45 and this is the first time they're going through it. You know, that's gonna suck. It does suck your first time, but once you go through it, you kind of have an expectation and understanding of what's going on. And so, yeah, my thing is Keep 50. It's definitely going to suck for some people. It sucks for my team because we just had 2 Keep 45s, and we'll see what happens with them and how far people can get pushed. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, you just have to find your team, play at the level that you can play at, and enjoy. That's kind of my take on it. I know there's some mixed reactions there in the chat. Some W's and some Chaz is full of shit. Absolutely blood in the water there, as expected. But yeah,
Right,
that's my kind of take on it all.
let me give you guys the counter devil's advocate.
Ooh,
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
You know, I agree with Chaz that, you know, it's in the long run, it's not really gonna matter, okay? Because you play at the level you are. Some people are never gonna reach 50. Some people are never gonna reach 50. Okay, some people might never reach 45, and that's just the way it is. And Evony, for its part, does make accommodation for you to play within a certain group set. Now, with that being said, you know, we've been through several of these changes. There are some things that are critically different with this K50 that I don't think people are really appreciating yet, because this thing is going to be crazy when it starts hitting people. First things first is that when we moved from 40 to 45, it took quite a while for, you know, people to catch up. Yeah, of course, you had the 1 or 2 people that were like 45 by Allstars before anybody even had it. But generally, it takes time for people to catch up. There's one critical difference this time. When we had those other updates, we didn't have the family member system and we didn't have rally card. For me, I think that's a big one, because the speed at which people can get resources now is completely different from the previous updates. So more people are going to be getting to 47, 48, 49 faster than when we had the previous updates. So I think, and people are going to feel that. Like this SVS, the server we faced had a 48. And like, it was literally like, all right, guys, I'll see you on Monday. Okay? It was like the guy just came, sat on the server, took temples, tried to take throne, but I think he got bored or something, and left. Okay? So, and the reason why is that, okay, I think I posted this somewhere, his March size, you know, is pushing 12 million.
Ooh.
Right? And I'm pretty sure he hasn't done all the updates and things like that. So we're going to be looking at situations where more of us are going to be facing 12 million size marches. Okay? March size is going to increase. Buffs are going to increase tremendously. We're all talking about the academy. We're talking about, you know, all that stuff. Military academy, the buffs are going to skyrocket. All the other stuff that Evony is going to bring up, buffs are going to increase much faster than we had before. Defensive buffs are not going to increase as quickly. And, you know, we have the new drop of the new gear, the one that you can upgrade the Imperial and the Parthian to. Those ones, they give you nice debuffs, but from what I've seen, excuse me, from what I've seen, it's not going to be anywhere near the rate at which buffs are going to increase. And remember, one other thing that we have in this update that we didn't have in the last one is that they've put troop caps on there. So you can't go crazy and build as many troops as you want now. There are now caps, okay? T1s stop at 2.1 billion. I know that there are people that have hit that already. Yeah, no more T1s. So you're going to get to the point where March size has increased, buffs has increased, rally cap is going to increase, but your troops cannot increase like that. So I think, yes, we'll get to the point where everybody catches up. But until we get to that catch-up point, I think people are going to feel the difference very soon. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
But
you're looking at
actually,
it,
my question would be, who's going to be feeling that very soon? Because to come up against those kind of people, you're probably on a server or a team that is playing at that kind of level. And again, I'm very much playing that devil's advocate here because for me, it's very frustrating personally. I actually don't actually play my own keep anymore. I just fill nowadays because
We'll
I
take
don't have the
questions
time
after,
or the
guys.
money to do it, which is annoying. But yeah, my thing would be who's going to be coming up against people with all these higher buffs. Obviously, everybody's going to be feeling the buff increase 100%, and the goalposts are moving 100%. I can understand the frustrations with that. But again, I think if this, it's kind of like an elo system, like what you'd have in chess or other competitive games, is you're going to come up against people who are somewhat similar to you, whether that's by server or by alliance. And so if you're playing at a decent enough level to come up against those buffs, they're not putting totally terrible alliances up against huge, massive alliances. Like that's my kind of counterpoint. Like,
Yeah, I mean but you see, I think that's when you're looking at it from competitive play. Okay, if we're talking about like things like Battlefield, things like Allstars, Shalons, yeah, for the most part you'll be put up against people of somewhat similar level in quote. The problem is that we have to play these guys outside of competitive levels. You can't be on a server and you're talking smack when you've got a K48 sitting there. It's you're on SVS, and okay, like now they dropped the new gear. Okay, the new gear requires the battle tested. You need to play SVS to get those battle tested. How are you going to play SVS when you've got a 48, 49 sitting on your server the whole day and the guy is active?
That makes it tough. That does make it tough.
And yeah, and I think we're gonna start seeing more of that, because like I said, I feel like the speed at which people are going to increase is going to be much faster than the previous updates. We have rally card, we have bosses, we have alts, everything is there. For those that are botting, they have bots. People are going to get those resources very quickly. Okay, and then we'll start seeing, hopefully maybe Evony has some plan to kind of even out the playing field. All right. One thing I was hoping that they might do, for example, is to have assistant generals on subs. That might be, we might get some kind of feature that is going to maybe sort of even things out at the end. But until then, I think there's that gap that we normally feel after a big update like this. I think we're going to feel it much quicker this time.
Yeah. Man, you guys have said a lot of good things. Especially with the gapping, like I agree with the gapping with you, Ak, 100%. And talking about recapping on what Chaz says earlier, play within your limits. If you are the team that makes majors, you're the team that make majors. If you're making elite or juniors, that's kind of what you guys are making. Or top 16, top 20, top 30, whatever. With that being said, this goes to all three of you guys that are in this call right now. Do you guys think that it's time, or do you guys think that it's at the point where Evony should add another bracket as far as like maybe mainly All-Stars goes, or even trickle it into Challenge?
Well, I was actually discussing this with my team the other day. One thing that I would love to see to create another bracket in a sense, and this is a little bit of a crazy idea, I don't know how it would quite work, but like I don't know, like an ultimate All-Stars, and this kind of goes away from your typical All-Stars, but imagine you took the top, I can't remember how many players this would work out to be, but say like the top 18 or whatever it is from each server or from each continent, and then they could be in their own bracket. Like I think it'd be so interesting to have a team where you have it'd be 24 players. I think it'd be so interesting where you have teams on challenge or on All-Stars, sorry, we have the top 4 in C1, top 4 C2, top, so on and so forth. I think that would be quite an interesting thing. Now, would it even up the Keep 50? Absolutely not. But I thought it was quite an interesting thought experiment to think you're forcing the C2 players to play with the C6 players. And I think it would be a fun dynamic. I think it would be an interesting watch. Would it fix the Keep 50 stuff? Absolutely not in the slightest. But I was thinking about that the other day, and I thought that would be a bit of fun. Don't know if you guys are big on football or anything like that, or soccer as Americans would call it. But if you win the Champions League in Europe, you then go and face the champions over in South America, and there's like another club kind of thing. It's like that kind of idea. I think that'd be good fun to watch. Another bracket though, in terms of like regular play, honestly, I don't really know how juniors is nowadays. If there's a lot of active people who aren't hitting juniors, then yeah, absolutely. But I think that will also be continent dependent. Like on C6, for example, I could see that being a massive problem. Would it be a massive problem on C1? I don't think it would be, just because there's not the same level of player base.
Okay, I see your point there for sure.
For All-Stars, I don't really know how they. I think they did a very good job with like making the brackets for juniors and elite. That's my opinion. I don't know how they made that even better without adding like another level to it. But I think okay, this is going slightly off topic, but I think what they need to do for All-Stars is they need more rewards in those things. They need more rewards in those things. I mean, for people that are not in majors, and unless you are like, you're like a big keep that can gun for like the top spots in whichever bracket you're in, there really isn't much incentive for you to try in All-Stars.
I agree.
I was in this last All-Stars. I was in elite. Okay. The bracket I'm in, I think 300 to 400 gets like 25 points. For you to move up to the next bracket, the amount of effort you have to put in, the amount of speed ups, defenses you need to take, rallies you need to join is crazy. And then once you move up to that next bracket, what do you get? You get like 2 extra resource chests and 5 extra coins. The incentive is not there. So I would really like that for them to make things, for them to incentivize things more. Some people will argue that, well, you need to work hard to get to the top levels for you to get the top rewards. Yeah, the people in those levels are working hard, okay? They're working hard. The only difference might be, okay, maybe they are not in as good a team, or maybe they don't have a big enough bank account. That's the only thing. It's not because they don't have this. It's not, for a lot of people, it's not because they don't have the skills to do it. But, the other constraints are there. So that's for the All-Stars thing. For Shalons, I personally would like to see some maybe some more divisions in Shalons, because what they have is they have like, they have majors for Shalons, and then they have the elite and junior. But the elite and junior, you're literally just playing regular Shalons. Like it's like, okay, yeah, we go in every week, we play. After the 4 weeks is finished, we don't do anything. It's no different than the regular thing. So I would like to see them do something a bit more in there. I would really also like to see them do something about SVS. Right? One of the typical things with SVS is that obviously there are no brackets in there. If the enemy server has big players, which they always do, you're gonna go up against them. Okay. I personally would like them to make some kind of system, something that makes playing SVS more fun, more worthwhile, and not as risky, because that way you get more people playing. They had the thing, some pack that they had that you bought it and you were able to get all your troops back at, I think, like half price or something funny like that. They need to bring those kind of things back, okay? Because now with the new gear, they're telling people that, okay, if you want this gear, you need to play SVS.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you've made SVS more dangerous, more risky, and more not fun for the people that are not big enough to play it. So I think they need to do some kind of balancing there. But in terms of like making Evony as a whole more competitive and more worthwhile, I think they just need to up they need to make it worthwhile. They need to up the rewards. They need to actually make people feel like, okay, I gained something by doing this. All right? Because I'm gonna give you from my personal experience. This last All Stars, I got my 25 coins, right? And I'm cool with that. I'm still like 70 coins away from getting my dragon, right? But I have post All Stars trauma, all right? Because I used all of my speed ups, like literally everything. I was down to fives, like 5 minute speed ups.
Wow.
Everything gone, and I'm now suffering with the backlash of that because now that they've dropped K50, I want to go to 42. I started the upgrade, but I don't have the speed ups to finish.
Mhm.
I don't have the speed ups to do my academy. I don't have speed ups for rally spot. So yeah, that PTSD from All Stars is still there for me. So it would be nice if they could do something about that.
Asta? Thoughts? No comment?
No.
Well, I know Asta, he tried like hell in All Stars, he's K45, about 60 bill power. He's got all his T16s, he's got MA10 done. Just as far as you can kind of get with the K45 minus, pushing to the Royal Cake every week. He's pretty excessive, right? Good buffs across the board, defense, offense. He's a rally setter. And even for him, like Majors was a struggle, right? And the amount of speeds that he had to right. I consider him a very well-built K45. And the amount of speeds that he had to use just to make it into semifinals was astronomical. I mean, I don't know if that's something you'd want to mention on stream, but the amount of speeds was just astronomical. And
240,000 days.
240,000 days. Now, was that?
Oh well, it was 100. It was 130 to make it semifinals, and then I used, like 115 or something like that, and the semifinals round because I thought I would make it finals, but here I am, still bootied up.
Still bootied up. I like your analogy. That's an interesting analogy.
I do have a input real quick.
All right, what you
about
got?
What Chaz said about the right now there's no 50s. There's going to be a 50 within next month, whatever, however long it takes them to coin for what they need, but there will be a K50. I think I'm looking at it from an aspect of C2 specifically, which right now has the most amount of K48s. And that's the continent that I'm on, obviously. With Vig having 4 of them already. I think it's 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. The way that I'm looking at it is All Stars isn't based off of keep level. It's not based off of buff power. It's not based off of anything. It's just based off of randomly generated Evony quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
whatever fucking dumbass system that they fucking use to come up with teams. And they don't look at keep. They don't look at any buffs.
Holy
they
shit. So, sorry to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off. I just switched to Vig's Hive, and Working Mom literally just upgraded from 47 to 48 on stream, making it 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
She was 48 earlier.
Oh, it just said 47 on mine.
Oh, well, I saw RSP posted a video saying, like, showing them all. She was on that list with 48s.
2,
So I don't know if
3,
it just glitched out.
Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now, and they have a 47, 46. Anyways, they're gonna have fucking all K50s within a month. Anyways, back to what I was saying.
What's
They
up,
don't
young
look
guy?
at keep power. They don't look at buff power, which obviously we all know VIG buffs are like ridiculous. So the main thing that I'm worried about, I work my ass off, right? Or anyone in this regard works their ass off to get to majors.
Mm-hmm.
And we could be facing 4 of these people on one single team, and they're all going to be buffing 10,000 plus now, because Geek was the highest with, I think he was around like 97 or something like that last time I saw, something like that, whatever.
Oh my god.
But they're going to be buffing like 10k plus, and then on top of that, Geek and Viper Zero's Keep, their rally spot is going to be like, they were already sending 160 million rallies in C2 and some in C1, obviously, and I'm sure that there's other continents, but these guys are going to be pushing out by next Allstars within 6 months. These guys are going to be pushing out, I don't know, 220 million rallies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With one dude's March size being 13, 14 million, if not more.
More than 10% of the whole rally.
Exactly. It's just at that point, I don't see how anyone that is not like dumping in, like you said, fuck you money. They're just not going to be, there's no competitiveness. And if you're going to be that competitive, why not just move in with them? You know what I'm saying? Like you said also. So it's basically going to be nothing but one team being competitive at this point, besides for a couple, like, you know, standoffs. But other than that, it's just going to be just like one team per continent. There's going to be, you know, VIG, RSP, NEF, like, PPK, like these super WDF, like there's gonna be these super teams that are just like that's all. It's all gonna be built on like one person at this point, unless they get more people that are just gonna be full caking out their ass, in my opinion. So, and especially in Allstars, like if you get rounded up and there's a team of if you get lucky enough to get on the team with 4 or 5 VIG members, I guess you just automatically, you know, you're making it to next round, at least. Because, like, I mean, it's ridiculous. We had, I don't know how far you guys look at YouTube and stuff, but there was a keep in C2 in semifinals. He was 300 billion power. He's one of the he's the biggest account in Evony, and he didn't make it to finals.
Wow.
He didn't score enough points to make it to finals. So, and I mean, his buffs aren't bad either. His buffs aren't bad. Like, they're not the greatest, obviously, but then again,
that's still nuts, though, you know?
He's the solo player on his team that is that size. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, just putting my 2 cents out there, you know?
No, I appreciate the honesty. I do. And
I just don't see how anyone's going to compete with VIG besides RSP. Like, and Baby Bear made a video recently talking about like making a separate bracket for like these crazy teams. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they would implement it. I don't know what would be the requirements for it or what, but I feel like they need to do something because there's a difference between coining and then wailing out your ass 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got money to drop on everything. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So there's got to be a line for it, in my opinion. Or you got to increase the rewards across the board, like people are saying. Like you got to give elite some way to get dragons faster than, you know, like you can come first in an elite, and it's still, I think it takes you what, 2 times you have to come first to get a dragon, maybe 3.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's
So
Yeah, it's
like,
multiple times.
that amount of time that you have to do that is ridiculous for a dragon that's been out for what now?
4
6
years?
fucking years? No,
6
not
years?
6 years. 4 years, yeah. I think
4?
it's more like 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's when Laven came out.
you know,
So-
I would love to see them do like another bracket, you know, as far as All-Stars goes. Just only because of my own personal experience where, you know, like I was a fresh K44 heading into elite, I think, or yeah, I was an elite, and I would like even at my level, you know, I stood no chance. I really didn't. We faced more K45s and then top end 44s compared to my fresh K44. So, you know, to try and I think the rewards should definitely be upgraded, even for majors, you know, upgrade the major rewards, you know, give elite castle, you know, for the top whatever members that participate in it, give them a keep that's not just a lawn ornament, you know.
You don't want that?
No, you know, like, give them some more galaxy coins, you know, make it possible so that way you can get a dragon egg and stuff like that. Because for me, it was very demoralizing heading into elite personally, because it's like, all right, you know, I spend this much per week on the game. I grind this much. I spend time in SVS, BOC, and BOG, but yet I still have no chance unless I spend more money to ever get a dragon. So it's like, all right, if I make it through round 1 just by healing layers, cool. After that, I don't want to invest any more of my own money or time into All-Stars just because the rewards aren't worth it, you know? So seeing a separation to where, you know, if they could either up the rewards or add in the bracket, I think would be very unique. It'd be different. It would strive people to push a little bit further on this game, you know, which is all about business, you know, spend more money. You know, I don't think they would personally add in the bracket, but, you know, recapping on what kind of like Aka said and Chaz said, and even you, personally, what I think that they might do is add a separate battlefield, you know, instead of being like team oriented or personal score oriented, you know, it's more of a keep level battlefield in a sense, you know, for your own separate rewards, for these elite players, you know, like they'll take the top, you know, 100 players and say, okay, you guys have phenomenal All-Stars. Let's shift you over to this battlefield that you have registered for, or that word I'm looking for, you know, like I don't know the word I'm looking for. What's that?
You're saying like a, yeah, like a Hall of Fame kind of All-Stars kind of quality thing.
Right, yeah. So you have these titans, you have these behemoths that are going nuts in Battlefield and All-Stars and Challenge. You know, they have their own category where they can, it's going to promote spending for Evony, you know, and it's going to be like, you know, you have all these K50s that are just going toe-to-toe across all continents, you know, kind of like what Chaz said, you know, like take the top 24 or 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they have their own separate battlefield, you know. I see them implementing that before they do like more All-Stars rewards or brackets, so to speak, you know.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, so I get that too. That would be cool. That would be it would be cool to watch for sure. I think the other thing is though, like, you're putting it off into a different bracket, which means that there's going to be more rewards for them, which I'm not against. They spend the money, they should get more rewards, right? But my thing is, you can't make it so that no one else can obtain it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm gonna use me as an example: 240,000 speed ups, and I still didn't get one fucking Elder Soul.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy.
I'm struggling over here, and there's no way that I can get it unless I literally have to get on a winning team, or first or second team at least, in finals to be able to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when it comes down to that, it all just depends on what your team's gonna, how much is your team gonna heal, and who is on your team. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
all it comes down to. There's no, and I hate to say this, in my opinion, there's no skill involved anymore. It's rally, join, call for reigns when you need a defense, port away if you need to, but it's all just, there's nothing. It's all the same. You know what I'm saying?
But then
And it's
I
not
feel
like, and it's
I
not
was
like
gonna-
that I'm tired of that, but it's just like I feel like everyone has gotten so good at that there's not really like there's not a gap anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The only thing that's making there be a gap now is K50 and how much money you spend. That's the gap.
So
what I would say. Oh, sorry, yours. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, Chaz. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is I got a couple of points.
Mhm.
I'd say, when is the last time that there was actually skill in Evony? I believe that's, through how Evony's evolved nowadays. We have hives, we hive up, we rally, and things like that. Like, that was a definite curve in competitive play. But I think even at Keep 40, when that dropped, that was when true skill in Evony ended, because things like port swaps became a lot less viable. Things like ghosting went out the window. I think it's been a long time since we've actually had a real skill-based game. I don't think that Keep 50 is destroying the skill. I think we can rewind to Keep 40 when that happened. But one thing I would say, and this goes back to my earlier point about why should you care about the Keep 50 update, have fun. And I would totally agree that rewards need to get upgraded for All-Stars, for Juniors, and for Elite, and for Challenge, because there isn't the incentive for people to really try those ones, right? And it's not fun. And at the end of the day, I'm all about the perspective of, okay, we can, obviously Keep 50 is not ideal for a lot of players, 100%. I get that people feel set back 100%, but how can we make it fun? And I think we make it fun through increasing those rewards. So you actually, you want to play SVS, you want to play in Juniors and Elite, like, give that sense of accomplishment, even just getting there, make that more fun. And I don't think that means that we have to compensate by increasing the rewards for the top players, because, the top players, let's be honest, they're already spending loads and loads of money anyway, and already getting nearly everything that they need purely through coining. So increase the rewards for the lower leagues, if you like, because that's what's going to make it fun. That's what's going to make it competitive. And, if you're a free-to-play player, let's be honest, you're never going to be competitive against a Keep 50. If you're a free-to-play player, were you really competitive against a strong Keep 45 before the update? No, you probably weren't. I mean, there is some people who got to Keep 45 purely off of resources, and that's great, but your buffs lacked. There's always going to be this gap, and obviously the gap is very wide right now because we're going to see the corner shoot up. But there is no skill, or there's a very limited amount of skill in this game, and that didn't die in this update. That died in the Keep 40 update. So yeah, that's my kind of take on it. Is it's just the way that the game is now, and I think that we have to make things competitive, and Evony top games will do that through increasing rewards and battlefields for the lower leagues. Because if I was in Elite or Juniors, then there's definitely not the same incentive to go hard, right? Whereas Majors, obviously there is. I was playing Majors, I think it was the quarterfinals or something I was filling for. I dropped 160k days of speed. That was no fun. But there is that incentive to go and do that, and they need to be adding that to the lower leagues as well. Because obviously not everybody can hit the top league, and that's fine. But they need to make it competitive, and they need to make it fun, 100%.
What are your thoughts on that, Aka?
Yeah, I mean, I agree that they need to make things more competitive. In terms of skill, yeah, I think like for normal people playing, okay, and I use that word normal in quotes. Yeah, when they dropped K40, a lot of the skill-based element in the game went out, and I think the type of skill needed for Evony changed. Okay, so I don't think it's completely not skill based, but I think that the kind of skill required in Evony has changed to where, okay, you have, things like team building and, all that kind of stuff. But in the actual gameplay, I think speed has now become the most valuable skill in the game. Okay, I think that's what it is. Speed, obviously with executing your attacks, speed with like checking your reports, and speed with like finding targets and everything. This game now, the best skill that you can have in Ebony right now is speed.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
And I think and I think when you get to All Stars, you start to see a situation of where everyone has that to a certain degree. Okay, and this is going to the point that Asta was talking about. Like, that speed is the main skill that you need. Most of the people there have that, so there's really not much extra that you can do besides, okay, trying to get like 1 second faster, or stuff like that. The same thing for the rally setters. What are they doing? They're just shooting off more rallies faster than the other people. They're finding the targets faster. They're making the calls faster. That's basically what it is. There's no strategy involved. There's no, setting up traps. There is no, okay, do we, okay, let me not say there's very little of, do we target these people at this time as opposed to these people this time? No, you just keep slinging. Okay, keep slinging, hit whatever you can hit, get the points. Okay, maybe once in a while you look at the leaderboard, you say, okay, we need to stop hitting these guys, we need to switch to these guys, and things like that. Right now, that's what the skill is, and the people that can do that better, then fine. But when you're talking about like normal gameplay for the thing, unfortunately, yeah, there's the skill is, how, okay, if we talk about speed, how quick can you coin? Okay, how speedy is your credit card, right? That's basically what it is. Because I'm sorry to say this, some people might not like it, but I have literally seen, like, I'm obviously not going to mention names, and don't ask me to. I've seen K43s, K44s that don't know what the hell they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no freaking clue.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, you see that. And then I know people that are, like 38, 39. They've been grinding, they know their stuff. And yeah, these people just, like send 2 attacks and that's it, lights out. So unfortunately, that's the nature of the game. For lower levels, okay, for people that are lower levels, the skill is learning how to survive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. That's the skill. It's like, how can you do what you want to do in this game environment and live to tell about it? Okay, and I think that's the biggest thing. So I think obviously that's why people are so that's why people care so much about the T1s and all that kind of stuff, because being able to do that is what helps you to survive. So as the game progresses, I think we're gonna have to find another way for lower level players to survive in the game again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whether we find like some kind of hack or something, like, okay, we found T1s, maybe the next thing is going to be T2s, I don't know, or Evony comes out with something that gives players a chance. But yeah, that's where I think the skill is in the game right now.
I mean,
Interesting.
I totally. Oh, sorry. You want to go yours?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I totally agree that there is a skill in the speed, sure, and I think setter is a skilled role, sure. But for the many other people that make up a team, Evony's just reduced the amount of skill you actually need. Speed was always part of the game. That's nothing new with these updates. The reason I say keep 40 killed skill is because as a keep 35 or less, you know, you're doing loads of port swaps, you were doing loads of ghosting and things like that. Now ghosting is pretty much obsolete.
Yeah,
Let's be honest, at the
totally
highest
agree.
levels.
Totally agree, 100%.
And I just feel like it's getting more and more watered down. I know, sure, okay, it's a bit harsh to say there's no skill in the game, but the skill's getting watered down more and more and more. And you know, obviously, the setter's got to have a lot of skill, and that's definitely going to decide a lot of the time whether you win or lose. But past that, especially with the amount of lag that's in the game as well, it does become a bit of an RNG, a random numbers game. Are you going to lag out, or are you not going to lag out? Are you going to be able to port away, or are you going to get red Wi-Fi'd? So somebody says, so no ghosting means no skill. I mean, no, it doesn't mean no skill, but it means that they're reducing the skill threshold in the game. You know, if you're playing in the keep 35 and you're throwing up a ghost as you saw the red marks come in, your heart was pounding, you had to do it quick or you're going to get zeroed. And that made a very interesting dynamic whilst you were playing. Nowadays, that dynamic's gone. And we talk about reading reports. Obviously, there's still a place for reading reports in the game, 100%. But do you need to do it in the same way that you used to have to do it? Like, I remember you used to have to analyze the report and you look and you decide what you wanted to send and things like that. Nowadays, you're just tapping away at Siege until eventually somebody reads the report and be like, okay, we'll switch over. You tap away with Siege and Ranged or whatever your game plan is. There's a lot less of reading report in the game. A lot less of that. There's a lot less of ghosting, and there's a lot less of port swapping and things like that. And by that, the skill in the game is becoming reduced, because there was always the skill in setting, there was always the skill in moving fast, but by removing different other skill mechanics, let's say, it becomes less of a skill-based game. And when your primary skill is speed, and we play a game where they seem to never be able to fix their servers, because there's always been an issue with Evony, and I think it's absolutely nuts considering how much money this game generates. You know, it's totally BS that speed is like the key skill nowadays, with all that's going on with the lags and stuff like that. Every single Allstars, every single challenge, people are always complaining about lag, and so it just becomes less and less skill based, in my opinion. Obviously, going to catch a lot of hate for that, but I just feel like they're removing a lot of the mechanics, which is quite annoying.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I am. You know, I like how this is kind of shifted into like a mechanics conversation. As to this kind of goes back to what me and you were talking about the other day, and you know, I'd like to hear everyone's opinion on this separately. You know, for the longest time now, you know, there's been this whole, you know, when you're sending a range march, you know, like half your range march is going to be T12 range. You know, if you're trying to get through your upper tier siege on an enemy, you know, you send a lot of T11. Things like that. You know, your big siege primarily consists of a lot of T13 siege. You know, there's those basics that have kind of just been like engraved into us over the last few years. With this whole K50 coming out, you know, you see I believe it's a Romulus gear that has a flat siege on it. You see the new academy that has flat mounted in it. You know, they're kind of like shifting gear now to focus some flats here and there. You know, still mainly percentages, but flats are being incorporated here and there, right? So do you any of you guys think moving forward from this K50 update, you know, do you think the meta, so to speak, of the T11 siege is going to dwindle down to like a different layer of siege? Do you guys think the meta of the T12 range is going to make a shift from T12 to like, just say T13 or T11 or any like the mechanics themselves of the game? Do you think was affected by this? And if so, do you guys have any theories on what might be the new meta? Not everybody at once. Don't worry. Not everyone at once. It's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to comment about the future mechanics because I just don't know. That's not something that I tend to dive in. Usually, I wait on a Directifies video before that happens. So yeah, I stay away from that kind of thing, and I watch Directifies very closely.
I did. So he joined stream earlier. I did invite him, but unfortunately, he is at work, and he cannot join right now. But he did say thank you for considering him.
Will the mechanics change?
Or even, maybe not just the mechanics, but you know, like what we're used to seeing. You know, the T11 Big Siege, or even just the T12 range. You know.
I think the way we play is gonna shift. I think it's gonna shift a bit. I think probably everything that we do now will probably just need to be shifted up one tier. Because we're gonna start seeing a lot more people getting 15s now. We're gonna see a lot more people getting 15s, and then of course some people, more people getting 16s, and then a handful of people with 17s. So I think just because of the structure of troops that are gonna be in the keeps now, I think I can't say it's not like for certain or anything. I haven't checked anything on that, but I think things we'll probably have to shift them up a bit. I think we'll get to the point where T12 will still be effective, but probably after you've gotten the point where maybe you've whittled down some of their T15s. So I think we might have a situation where you are changing maybe your troop composition based on what kind of stuff the enemy still has available. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say anything for certain there, just speculation.
Asta, what do you think, buddy?
What are we talking about?
Are you kidding me?
Mechanics
Do you
changing?
do you think the way we play the game is going to change because of this new K50?
Yeah. I think I think whoever faces BIG better just keep porting. So that's what I think.
That's not the answer I was looking for.
Well, all I know is, dude, their range rally is gonna fucking clear 100 bill. I don't know what else to say. Like, they already ground cleared a 50 bill, so I'm just waiting for the video. No, I don't think that there's gonna be a huge mechanic change. Evony doesn't like. I don't know. I don't know how they can. I don't know what they can change to change like the gameplay. To be honest.
So I mean, do you still think like T11s and these T12 Arch are going to be a thing?
For them, no.
I mean,
why would it be? They don't need it.
Okay, they're a special breed, right? Okay,
okay. We're talking about for regular teams. Then.
Yes, regular gameplay, casual,
free to play.
Free to play, basically. Compared to them, yes.
Okay. I think it will still be useful. Yeah, like, I mean, that's the whole reason I still use it, is just to soften up the top tier siege so that, the big siege can just clear out the rest of the siege and hurt some of the arch and stuff. So I mean, it's still like, it lost its viability after it became well known what was going on. I mean, Sing made it super popular, so, but since everyone is kind of top heavy siege, and as long as you get like one siege rain or something like that, it helps a lot defending T11s. So I mean, that's why big teams don't do T11s anymore. They just do big siege. But for like casual teams like us, I mean, yeah, I don't think it will go away unless they change the distance of like T17s or something like that, which I haven't even looked at. But I mean, yeah, unless they change some kind of range factor or something like that, I don't think that it will go away. And in terms of like adding some kind of difference, like troop wise, there's a lot of stuff that they can do, but I mean they probably won't. And but like other things, I can't think of any kind of other different gameplay features that they can add to counteract what they've already made. I mean, they're just stacking on rally size. So
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because the range for your T17s are the same all the way down to T13s.
yeah.
The speed's a little bit different.
The only thing that's different, well, for Siege, I think it's T16s, they just move like 1 speed faster. So they initiate faster. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, I think like I don't know what the statistics are on it, but yeah. Anyways. But everything else is the same, so go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, everything's, it doesn't look like there's any like there's no changes to siege range or anything like that in this update. So I don't think they're going to change anything, because, you know, they can't really retrospectively change, say, for example, the siege range, because, you know, can you imagine what that would do to people's setups and things like that? Like, it's just, I feel like Evony's one of those games where it has to like build upon itself as opposed to change core mechanics. So like I play competitive shooter games. I've been like, you know, played at decently high level on a couple of different games and things like that. And those are the kind of games where they can change core mechanics, because it's every time you load into a game, you're fresh, your actions of the previous game to not impact the game that you're in. Whereas with Evony, because it's an ongoing game, you know, they can't really go back and change mechanics. Because can you imagine the uproar if they changed a mechanic which all of a sudden changed the way that you keep defense for like the worse, for example. So I mean, Derek has said something about the new trap and how T17 ground might be overpowered. I don't know anything about that, but that would be an example of like an add-on change to the mechanic. But I don't see a world where they could ever retract. You know, they could change a previously existing part of the game that would change the mechanics of the game itself, and we're not seeing that with the new Siege, for example. There's not an increase in range, so I don't think there's going to be a huge mechanical shift in this game, at least until Keep 55.
Yeah, and I wanted to say VIG might just ground sell 100 bill at that, you know, once they get all their K50s and stuff. But I thought that was a little bit too ambitious. But then again, I'm not sure.
Wait. Derek Defies has just said the only major difference I've found in the files is that the new traps have a 50 times increase in trap triggering. Now that is a mechanic change. Unfortunately, it's a mechanic change for the Vigs, not for your regular player. But if that is like, you know, if that is in the game now, then that's definitely going to change the way top players are going to be building their keeps.
Might just be actually worth it to build traps then, if that's the case.
Yeah, 100%. I think you'll see a lot of people building traps if that is the case.
Yeah,
that's interesting. We'll see how it plays out. You know, that's all you can really do right now. But if that's the case with the traps, then I think we'll definitely see a lot of people building them. But again, it's gonna negatively impact the non-coiners even more, or not even the non-coiners, the non-whales even more, which is a shame.
Yep. I mean, that's how it goes. So, what's your guys' thoughts on the wisdom dome thing? I haven't been able to really look at it too much, but
yeah, I've been putting a video together for that. It looks pretty good. I mean, the upgrade requirements from level 1 to level 25 is pretty nuts. So I think right now, just based off of like the resource requirements, I see it having a big impact in gameplay, but nobody's coined enough yet to really realize what that impact is going to be. You know, I know with the golden books, there's the siege and ranged slot, and the gold book for that, the refines or the advanced attributes or whatever they're called, can get up to negative 25%. And if you have 3 of them, then that's negative 75%, which is obviously quite nice. But furthermore, if you upgrade the building to level 25, you're going to, or with every upgrade, I should say, but obviously the max level 25, you're going to see an increase in the goddess attendant buffs. So that's negative 25% for each attribute will become even more. And then you can upgrade the slots. I have no idea what the limit on those are. It's probably in the game file somewhere. I've not looked at it yet. But I think that is also going to be, another massive opportunity for whales. Not an opportunity for your regular player, and that's why the Keep 50 definitely sucks from that aspect. It seems like there's a lot of whale heavy points, and there's not really much going on for like the let's just say non-whales. But again, that comes back to my kind of point I made earlier. Unfortunately, this is the nature of the game, and it sucks, and I get that it sucks. I'm an Evony addict, as I mentioned earlier. I've been playing since age 2. And it sucks that this is the game that we were addicted to, and this is what happens, but it is the nature of the game, and it's not like this hasn't happened before with previous Keep updates. When Keep 45 dropped, everybody was in uproar because of how hard it was going to be to get to Keep 45. Same again with Keep 50, and it's just a kind of spiral that we're in, and that kind of comes back to what I was saying is, at the end of the day, we play this for fun. So find a team, find a way that works for you to have fun, because unless you are a whale, you're not going to get to those whale kind of levels, which sucks. I think the Wisdom Dome is 100% going to increase that gap big time, and I think that there's a reason that it cost a stupid amount to get to level 25. And I have no idea what the slot upgrade level maximum is going to be, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a crazy amount, I would imagine.
It's gonna be insane. That's for sure. Just a quick little thing. I know it's getting late for a few of us here. Would you guys mind if we did a few questions from chat for everyone that's in this call right now? And then after that, I just have a question for you guys. After that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, cool. Is there anyone in chat?
Yeah, go for it.
Anyone in chat that has a question for Jazz or Akka or Red Evony, I should say. Sorry. Or Asta, the Tyrant. He's not really a tyrant. I'm just kidding. Is Aptoid done? No comment at the moment.
Yeah, the Aptoid thing was quite a surprise, actually. Because I mean, they left the situation unpatched for so long, so it's kind of surprising that they did that now. Have a few conspiracy theories that are floating out there, but yeah, can't say anything definite on that. And of course I'm saying that while I'm obviously promoting a different company, Paxify, but that's like a different issue. A lot of people in the game use Aptoid, and now that it's gone, or let's say not, I don't know if gone is the right word, but not available right now. It's put some people in a bit of a predicament. So well, let's see how that plays out.
Derek sent us a message in Discord.
I'm just going to jump in. I made a comment there in chat that somebody's remaking H2 and it's getting some people asking questions. So yeah, there's somebody who has been building H2 Evony for a little while. They're doing it as a project. I think the last update I saw is they're dropping like 10, 20k because basically they can't reuse the same graphics because of copyright, obviously. But there's somebody actively working on it, so it's still going to be like mechanically the same, but they're going to be changing out the graphics to make sure they don't get copyrighted by the old top games. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of nostalgia. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys on there once it drops, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Hmm. It is interesting. So Derek shared this photo, right? And it shows the trap trigger percent. You know, it seems like a majority of them are trap trigger percent is about 100, but the Abatis, Fire Arrow, and Rock, instead of 100, it's 5,000 now. I wonder if that'll make a difference. I forget the question that I was going to ask the three of you guys. That's I should have written it down. This is a problem with ADD. Like, I swear, I had a question for you guys and I forgot it.
No worries, man.
Question: we've talked a lot about what is new. What is the best piece of advice for a K4 coiner to try to keep up? Ooh, so this is a question for all of you guys.
Okay. Take 4 coiner. I think the best thing you can do is focus on defense before offense. I think that's what I would say. They've released quite a few things that can help out. Academy is there. We talked about the Wisdom Dome already. You want to be grinding those things out. Citizens, I'm not really sure how that helps for the buff wise, but anything that you can to help you grow faster, I think that helps. But yeah, you'd want to be putting in most of that your Cake 4 goodies into getting your defense stronger. And then once you've done that to a fairly okay degree, then shift towards attack. I think that's really the best advice I can give. I mean, there are other things that you can do, like focus on certain generals or things like that. Try and get more tactic scrolls and all that kind of stuff. But I think it really comes down to where you're going to put those things in. So I'd say defense before offense.
Good answer, Ak. I like that.
I just want to highlight, Theo in the chat said wait a few months before starting to coin. They'll release better packs after this initial rush. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm pretty sure that's been the pattern.
Yeah, very good
So,
point.
yeah, definitely. If you can wait a bit and you can save up some of that money, unless something super awesome comes around, then perhaps save up and wait for the packs, because that's also one of the ways that they help people to catch up. Is you're going to see an increase in what you get in the packs. Now we've already seen a bit of an increase, but I'd be surprised if they don't increase it again. I think that will happen.
We might get quadruple down.
Oh man.
Yeah, we might get those because they're increasing the triple downs now, and that's like I remember what they did. We had double downs, then they increased the number of double downs, and they eventually brought out triples. So who knows? Maybe we might see quadruples at some point.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
When even was it that they added the double and the triples? I can't remember when that was, because obviously it's definitely not an OG feature of the game.
No, I think triples. Like when I started, double downs were there, but they were very limited. They were very limited. Like you got one or two that you could use at any point, but then you couldn't get them. Then after that, they started making them like every event you get is it 12, I think. Then they started doing that. Then after that, they brought out triples, and then I mean people just went crazy for the triples.
Oh yeah.
And like in this event, we're seeing that they're increasing the number of triples. So if they see it that triples give people more incentives to coin, which they absolutely do, then they might start eventually looking at it and saying like, okay, well they release new packs, and they might throw in a quadruple here and there. Like maybe if you get certain score in a certain event, you can get like a limited time quadruple down or something like that. And yeah, it's basically giving people more incentive to spend by making it possible for them to get more stuff. And when you think about it from just like from like a financial, like business standpoint, there's absolutely no cost to them to making a quadruple down.
Right.
It doesn't, yeah, it doesn't cost them it doesn't cost them much. Okay, you can make the argument that, well, if they make quadruples, then people get more stuff than they would have
I
had to
think for
coin
the
for
time being,
anyway.
hunters, yes.
But the counter argument is that you get people spending more because now they can get more stuff. So well, we'll see what direction they want to go with, but there'll definitely be some kind of something that they do to incentivize more spending.
Yeah, I mean that would I mean, not that I spend a whole lot, but I mean if they threw up a just say a quad pack, like a quad coupon, yeah, I'm sleeping on the couch the day that comes out. I'll be the first to admit that.
Do you guys think though that if they were to add a quadruple coupon, do you think that you could be annoyed though? Because you've obviously spent the money before and now it's kind of watered down the money that you spent. Obviously Keep 50 is massively watered down things. But could you see that kind of angle of it? Like, would anybody feel perhaps annoyed, or is everybody just excited because you can get more stuff?
I think some people will feel annoyed. Some people would. There's definitely that sentiment, and you hear it particularly with like the comparison of older servers and newer servers. Like newer servers get all the new shit, the hot shit at cheaper prices, and the old servers remember how they used to spend like $100 to get 50 stamina. um so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that, but I think a lot of people will be excited about it because you can get more stuff, and we need that. We need more stuff.
I agree.
So yeah, I think the most part is people will spend, and then you know we say low coiners, things like that. I prefer to call it casual coiners. Like the casual coiners will feel a bit more incentive to, okay, maybe throw an extra 100, on the spending every now and then. Yeah, I think it would if they, and the way they usually do this is that, as Chaz said, they increase the value of the packs, so you get more stuff in the packs, and then they throw on the quadruple on there, and it's like it's Wham City, like everybody's going ham on the thing. I think that's they'll probably do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be enticed to definitely spend on like the quadruple down coupon. But it's also like one of those things too, is like how many are they gonna add? Because like at the moment, like I focus on the triple downs, right? So when I'm out of my triple downs, like I personally, I don't want to spend anymore. It's like, why am I gonna spend $100 when I'm only getting 2 packs out of it? So it's like, are they gonna add one quadruple? Like know how before you would get one on like day 1 of the event, and then also what was it, like day 7 or 8? I can't exactly say. It was like Friday to Friday, you get a triple and a triple without caking fully and all that stuff. With a quadruple, it's like if they added just one of them, it's like, I kind of only want to spend $100 now, compared to $200, try to save the value.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I don't spend money anymore, but when I did spend money, it was only a little bit, and I would only ever use my triples because instantly as soon as I started going down to doubles, I'd think, well, it's not really, I don't really spend much in this game, and now I'm getting even less. So I think there is that element to it as well. If they added quadruples, more kind of low tier coiners would be like, well, I'm only going to spend 100 quid this event because I'm only going to be able to get one quadruple. And you start to see that kind of diminishing return of value. So I would, going back to when I did spend, I would 100% only spend, $100 on a quadruple, for example.
Yeah, they do that, and they did that for triples when it came out because triples were limited. But then what they do, they increase the number of triples.
Right.
You
And
know,
now it's even
so
more
I think,
too.
yeah, and I mean, and see what they did. Like, we used to get only two triples, but then they added a third triple at Cake 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh man,
is it Cake 4?
no,
Or yeah.
it is
So
cake 4, dude, because
exactly.
I would spend my 2 triples and it's like, oh, I have that one more triple. Do I want to really pull the trigger on that? But it's like the cake rewards themselves weren't worth that third triple to me. Anyways.
Yeah. Exactly. And sometimes it makes you feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna get that triple anyway. Let me just, let me do it. Let me do it. You get like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think there'll be a bit of that, but I think overall, if they added quads to it, I think it would, it would really, I think it would push things. I think it would. Um,
Also, at what
I
point does
just,
it start to becoming silly though? Because like just like visually, here's a double, here's a triple, here's a quadruple, here's a whatever 5 would be, a pentriple, I don't know. Like and then after that we've got a sextuple, seventuple. Like, should they not just increase the value of the base packs themselves?
They should. They should. It would.
Because at this point it just seems a bit silly.
Yeah.
they probably would, but the thing is, when you think about it, how crazy is it? Like, we cake, okay? People cake in this game, but you don't have enough doubles and triples for you to do a full cake.
Mm.
So if they added a quad, for example, let's say they even added like 2 quads, okay, that's more incentive for the people that that are considering caking to like pull the trigger, really, because now it's like, okay, you get like 2 rounds of coining for more stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't disagree with you, but I just think, like, when does it stop? In another 2 years' time,
Yeah, I
what would we
agree
be
with you.
talking about? A
It
5
it
triple,
looks
whatever
silly, and
that would be
it
called. Like, it
looks
just
silly, and it
seems like
doesn't
it's
stop.
a little bit. Yeah, it just seems like it would be a little, like, getting on the verge of being a little bit silly with all the different, coupons and things like that. Like, just improve the base pack is my opinion. I feel like triples already crazy enough, and if we need to add more doubles or whatever, or triples, then sure. But I just think I've been playing Evony TKR for, I don't know, ballpark maybe 6 years or something, I want to say. I started on server 103, and so I kind of see Evony with the perspective of what's it going to be in another 6 years. In another 6 years, that would be like a 7-tuple or a septuple or whatever. Like, it just,
Can we not think that
it's just
far
kind
ahead,
of a bit
Chaz?
crazy.
Chaz, come on, man.
Yeah, but like, what part does it just start to become a bit ridiculous?
Yeah, I know. It's so true. It is. And I think a lot of people are actually thinking that at this moment, and but I think just this call itself kind of relieves a lot of people from the worry, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of reinforcement with what between what Chaz says, Aka said, and Asta said. I do. What time do we got? Okay, all right. It's 8:56, 8:57 my time. Can I just get undivided attention to ask Chaz, Aka, and Asta one question? This is one personal question. Call me selfish.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. if you guys want to plead the fifth, feel free. You don't have to answer. All right. But think about it for a second. Let it sink in and kind of fester a little bit, right? Asta, are you still with us?
I see Asta's just put I plead the fifth in the Discord chat already.
All right, because I wanted him to answer last because his answer would probably be the most unique. It'd probably be the shortest and most unique at the same time. But think about it for a second before you guys answer, right? Say Ebony's in the YouTube chat right now, right? Or just in our Discord call. What is a piece of advice that you guys would give Evony themselves moving forward for this game? Overall.
Okay. Can I go first?
Of course.
Okay. Um, it's something I've actually thought about, and you know, I think Evony, the way the game is now, it's centered so much around the whales and the Bitcoiners, and I mean, that from a financial standpoint, that makes sense. Okay, simply because, okay, maybe look at someone like me. Maybe I spend like 100, 200 every event. For some people, that's like 20 minutes of coining. You know, it's there is a significant difference money wise between what big spenders put into the game and what medium low coiners, even free to play players, put into the game. So from that standpoint, I can understand why um, Evany puts a lot of focus on them and spending and making them happy and all that kind of stuff. The advice I would give Evany is that I would advise them to, instead of, I'm not saying don't focus on them, but I would like them to put a lot more focus than they do right now on lower level, mid level, free to play players. And the reason why I say that is that because I won't say I've played a lot of games, but from the games I've played, when you generally have a positive attitude, a positive environment, a positive outlook from the players of the game towards the game, it's only going to make things better. That's the way I see it. Spend more time, fix things in the game, make things more accessible. I mean, we've been crying about things like save gear for ages. Okay, make things more accessible for people to grind and start getting those things, and create more of a positive atmosphere in the game. Not only will it make the player base happy, and I can't see any downside to that, people that are happy playing a game will be happy spending in the game.
Yes.
That just makes sense. Then the other thing about it is that you create a happier, you create a better environment. It leads to less turnover of players. Because right now, one of the big things is that people come into Evony, they play, they coin for a bit, they get fed up, they quit. Okay? And you have this continuous cycle, and we're going to see it with this K50. A lot of people are going to quit, and a lot of people are going to come into the game. What this means is that Evony has to spend continuous effort getting new people into the game to keep the game alive. If they just made the environment a lot better, a lot nicer, a lot friendlier, made the player base in general happier, there will be a lot less of that turnover. More people will be staying to play the game, and in turn, that's going to lead to a better bottom line for them. So if you want to call it, that's like game advice and financial advice that I'm giving them at the same time. So that's why I think, fix things in the game, make the general players in the game happier, create a more inclusive environment, and I think the game will generally become better. That's my take. And if you look at the flip side of it, like, how would it be if we had servers with like 5 K50s and nobody else there?
Yeah.
Would that be great? So anyway, that would be my advice for them.
Well said, Echo. Well said, brother.
Mm.
What about you, Chaz? You've had some time now, buddy. Want to recoil on that?
Yeah, well, what I'd say is it kind of touches on Aka's point, but perhaps from a different perspective. As Evony needs to boost the community surrounding it. I actually, one of the kind of the main purpose that Theoria came around was because I was doing my dissertation on social feature, was it social? I can't remember the exact title now, but it was basically talking about social features and how that impacts customer lifetime value in mobile games. So what that means is, like, you know, how does social interaction between players get people to spend more? Which is obviously, you know, if you can create a good social community, that's going to be good for the players, right? I know a lot of people here joined for the puzzles and they stayed for the players. They stayed for the people that they met, and that's a quite a big theme. I think a lot of people can see that. So it'd be obviously positive for the players, and you know, it'd be positive for Evony's bottom line as well. So it's kind of a win-win. Now, some of the ways that they could do that is, you know, they could get more involved in the community in terms of like through Discord and things like that. They can have more open feedback sessions with players that aren't as, I want to say, like kind of gatekeeped. You know, they can open up the floor a little bit more, get people more involved, get their Discord more involved. One kind of potentially interesting suggestion would be to allow people to change servers, which would bring a whole load of problems on its own. But the perspective that I'm taking from that is that there's nothing worse than when you start playing Evony and you've got some asshole on your server and it just ruins your experience. Now imagine you could, you know, within, like, there'd have to be limitations, and obviously I wasn't really thinking through the mechanics of the game and the impact and how that would work and things like that. But imagine, you know, rather than dumping all that money and playing with an asshole and it gets you really tilted and stuff like that, because I've been through that experience. I've been through the bubble or burn servers. I mean, all of C1 at one point was bubble or burn. And so I'd love some sort of way to open up the community and make it more social. And, you know, if it was possible to like move to different servers or something like that, you can find your people, and you can have, you know, fun in that way. I mean, that might not be the answer, but I do think everyone needs to take a more community-driven approach, and there needs to be more social interaction. You know, perhaps I'm potentially biased in saying this. There should be more support for your regular player with, you know, just feedback, because right now I feel like all the feedback comes from the top whales and stuff like that, which is fair enough. They're spending like the most money and things like that, but it feels a little bit gatekeeped. I do think there needs to be a bit of middle ground and have feedback with your regular Joes, you know, your people who are maybe just really active and not spending, or maybe they're active and only spending $100, $200 an event, like a medium kind of coiner, I'd call that personally. Or even just like your low coiners who's maybe, you know, they're paying for the monthly card or something like that. But there needs to be more feedback built into it. There needs to be a more community approach taken. And I think they already have the tools to do that with things like Allstars and Challenge. Like, they can integrate that better and get the community more involved, and more like psyched up for things. And yeah, that's the kind of suggestion I would have for Evony is really take that community perspective and community-driven approach to the game.
What's up, Wim? How you doing?
Would be the way that I would think could be a potentially good step forward for Evony, without, you know, totally changing the game mechanics and the direction they're headed in. I think it would be, you know, a nice change to see that, and it would really help them build that feedback loop in to see how the game's going, but B, also, you know, just make people more happier. And it relates back to Aka's point of, you know, we want players to be happy. You want players to enjoy the game that they play. They'll stay for longer, they'll perhaps even spend more. And so it would be a win-win for the community and for Evony.
Well said, Chaz. Honestly, dude, well said. And Aka too. Definitely well said. Asta, I know you said plead the fifth in chat, but is there anything you'd like to add to that? I mean, from the bottom of your heart, on a civil level?
Jesus. I say they add more puzzles. I like those. Those are really good.
Oh, get out of here, dude. There's no way.
Oh, goodness.
Go play Candy Crush.
Why? I pay enough money. I should be able to pick Candy Crush on this game.
You know what? Fun fact, I actually got into Evony from playing Candy Crush.
I remember you telling me that before, Aka. I remember that.
No.
Yeah.
What a surprise.
We had Aka on a previous stream, and I remember asking him, you know, Aka, how did you get into Evony? And, you know, it started with him saying, you know, I'm pretty sure it started with Candy Crush. And then he went into the story of the whole process of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Would you like to add anything, Asta, or are you good, bro? You don't have to answer, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't. I'll be here for all night if I answer.
No worries. But you know, it is that time for me, and I'm sure Chaz, you're probably falling asleep. Your beard must be about 3 feet long now, and Aka, Aka, I'm sure you're tired too, bro. I can't thank you guys, including Asta, for your time. You know, I think this was a great event for the community. I think it was a great event for us to get together too. I had one hell of a time here, and I appreciate you guys' time too. You know.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks very
man.
much for having us.
Really glad. Thank you for having us. Glad to catch up with everyone again, and you know, everyone in the chat. Glad to be here again. You know, hope you guys are doing great. Stay strong, even with this K50 BS. You know, we'll survive.
Just real quick, I'm not. So I've been muting in between asking you guys questions, talking to chat, but I'm not gonna unmute. But I have to ask chat. Can we get a lot of W's in chat right now for Chaz, Aka, and Asta? Can we just like literally just spam the hell out of chat for them? I mean, for their time, the time and just their efforts for this. Can we just get some love in chat? I know you guys can do it. You guys have done it before. Let's get it tonight. Let's do it. Come on. That's for the love. That's the love for you guys, for Chaz, for Aka, and for Asta. You guys are truly amazing. Probably some of my best friends in this game. I know we don't connect too often, but you guys are truly amazing, and you guys are big influences in this game itself. So I mean, we can't thank you enough. As far as for me and the community itself, all three of you guys, thank you so much for what you guys do. This was about you guys tonight, and you guys are truly a great part of this game. So please keep doing what you guys are doing. It means a lot to us.
So thank you very much. Thanks all the W's in the chat, and hopefully I won't have too many pitchforks heading my way.
Only a couple, Chaz. Only a couple. You guys rock, chat. You guys are amazing. You guys have always been amazing. So thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Aka. Thank you, Asta, for you guys' time. I'm gonna drop out a call here in a minute. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Glad to be on, and thank you, Chaz. Thank you, Asta. You know, you guys are great. Thanks. And chat, love you all.
Yes, I love it.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody,
Talk to you guys
hope
later.
you enjoyed, got some stuff out of it, and yeah, thanks for coming along, and thanks to the others on this call. It's been a good event. Really enjoyed taking part, and thanks, yours, for having me on.
My pleasure. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, chat. Listen, that was it. That was it, chat. We did it. We did it. We got some of the greats involved into one stream. Not because, we're full of this huge egotistical bullshit, because we're all chill players. We're all amazing. Chaz is one hell of a guy. He is a great guy. He's down to earth, and he's very logical too, and very smart. Aka is a very informative gentleman. He runs probably one of the best YouTube channels out there for Evony. So don't forget, for Aka and for Chaz, in the video description down below, if you guys aren't following them, make sure you guys go over to their channel, like all of their videos. Make sure you guys smash that sub button. If they have memberships turned on, make sure you guys become a member to their channel, because they are just truly amazing. And I am honored. I'm not going to say that in front of them, but I am honored to be able to have them on my stream. Because at the end of the day, I'm this little gnat in Evony. I just fly around and I annoy people. I've been kicked out of major discords. I've been kicked out of just major events. I've talked to people and they've literally told me to F off because you're a nobody. So the fact that they were able to come on and just have fun with you guys, have fun with me, was just, it's truly incredible. I love it. I love it. I think we have the #1 community out here. You guys have showed up today. You guys were amazing today. You guys are just goddamn the best goddamn community out there. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what Daddy Asta says about you guys. You guys are the best out there. But listen, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing. If you guys can, make sure you guys have that sub button. Make sure you guys turn on notifications. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Share this channel as well. Make sure you guys join up on Discord. If you guys join up on Discord, there is an option where you guys can verify yourself so you have access to the entire Discord. Otherwise, just be patient. Myself, Sony, Chewy, or Ass will make you guys a member, and you have full access to the entire Discord. We have multiple channels that you guys have to be specific members in. You have to ask for those permissions. We have book club. We have all kinds of random stuff, but you guys will know about that more in the future. For now, Chat, I love you guys. Every single one of you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for being here. Big shout out to Theria Games. Big shout out to Red Evony. And big shout out to Asta. You guys rock this world. Thank you for being part of the community. For now, have a good night. Take care. I love you guys. Peace.